Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Clairpoint podcast with me, Randy Prizzle. How you guys all doing out there? Everything good, shway, crispy, irie? Obviously I have to speak quite loud because obviously there's a lot of noise in the background. Obviously someone is talking very loud on the phone and that, but you know, this show must go on, as the Lupe Fiasco song said. Alright, already the show goes on. But let's get on to the first of this episode of number 40 of this second season of the Clairpoint podcast. Big up all you lot who have watched one episode, listened to one episode, all of that, shared, liked, comment. Big yourselves up. Do you know what I mean? Much appreciated in that. Do you know what I mean? It helps, man. It helps me a lot. Do you know what I mean? To know that people out there like obviously what man is putting out there. So big up to you all. Much appreciated. Much love and all that. I feel the love. Don't want to sing the song again, but let's go. We'll come on to obviously the first piece of what we got for this episode of the podcast, which is the advice. So let's get on to the first piece of advice we've got for you guys. My girlfriend started an OnlyFans thinking that it would save us from a dead-end jobs. Now everyone hates us and my girlfriend wants to do full porn with other guys. That's pissed. Do you know what I mean? That's pissed. You know what I mean? She's 22, by the way, and he's 25. So let's see what more is saying here. We both had crappy jobs. I was working as a carpenter. She was stuck at a retail job. We was constantly broke, living paycheck to paycheck. One night we just sat down, did the math and realized we're never going to be able to afford a house or any kind of future doing what we were doing. She already had a decent Instagram going on, cute photos, good engagement, so we thought screw it, let's try OnlyFans. At first it seemed like a smart move. Her IG started blowing up and she hit 50k followers. Reels went semi-viral with 200 to 300k views and her photos were getting 3 to 4k likes. But here's the reality check. Conversation is shit. She's getting around 0.3 to 0.4 of her followers actually subscribing. That's less than 200 people and she's charging $5 a month. Even with some extra stuff sold through OF, her total monthly income is only about 15,200. Decent money, sure, but not even close to what people think you would make with a viral account, and definitely not worth the fallout. Because yeah, now everyone knows, her family knows, my family knows, our co-workers, our friends, we've become a fucking joke. I had to switch jobs because I was constantly being talked about behind my back. She quit her retail job and does this full time now, but it's not like we're living some luxurious life. And now she wants to go further. She told me I've already lost my dignity, might as well make some real money off it. She's planning on posting way more provocative stuff on Instagram to drive traffic, and she wants to start doing full-blown porn on OF, even with other guys, if that's what it takes to make it. I've told her I'm not comfortable filming that kind of stuff, and watching her have sex with another dude for money, that's fucked me up completely. But she says that we're already in too deep and there's no turning back. And honestly, I don't know what to do. We're broke. We've lost most of our friends. Our family barely talk to us, and I'm stuck between staying with someone I love or slowly watching her turn into someone else for all the money that doesn't even feel worth it. What would you do if you were in my shoes? We're so cooked. I started to drink every night and she started to take some pills. Well, this is already heading down a cliff. Do you know what I mean? It's already heading down a cliff. The fact of the matter is, listen, I understand you want to do certain things for money, but for me, starting an OF was probably the big problem there. You probably thought, hey, we can try and do something here. Maybe when you first started this thing, you probably should have thought, let's just try and tease the audience here. Let's just try and put you in a bikini and just leave it as that. And let's not go anywhere further or foremost than that. But you both decided to go on this venture together. So you have to ride it out because you both went on this venture together. So you're already saying that you have issues. For me, if it was me and she first started doing it, I would have put my foot down and said, no, we're not going any further here. Just do the pictures in the bikini, whatever. That's it. No further, no all of that. Now she wants to go even further. And she's telling you that she wants to now go and take some other man's dick. Now, you should feel like a dick, to be honest, because you led it down this pathway. Not just you, but her too. But the fact of the matter is now, you've got to make it clear to her that this is it. There's an ultimatum here. You know what I mean? You're changing, I'm changing. This for me doesn't feel good. And if she still wants to go forward with this, then sometimes you've just got to let love go and try to save your sanity. Because the problem now is when you start to drink and she's taking pills and that, you're already heading down a deeper cliff than anything else. You probably can go to another country and then live your life doing something else where you can just be away from everyone. You know what I mean? Start your life again where no one knows who you are. But the problem is right now is that you have gone to this loop and this cycle where you have decided that the only opportunity, and she's decided this as well, is to continue doing these content just to get yourself out of some hole, which, to be honest, there's no way out of that hole. There's only a way deeper into that hole. And the fact of the matter is, it's deeper into the hole she's going. She's going to get piped even more deeper. You know what I mean? And the fact of the matter is, if your dignity's already gone, you've lost your friends and your family, I'm giving you two options here. Number one, you go into the business with her. Do you know what I mean? You go into the business with her, you get to pam all sorts of different girls, and she gets to pam all sorts of different guys, and you just do what it's got to do. You make your money that way or whatever. Or number two, you leave this damn relationship and you don't get involved anymore. You give her the ultimatum and you tell her, that's it. I don't want this going any further anymore. Stop. If she refuses to stop, then you just leave. You walk out. But that's my advice. That's all I got to say on that. But it's a mad story on this one. What do you guys think of this one? Crazy, innit? But anyways, let's move on to the next one we've got. That's a mad story, that one is. But listen, I feel that people who start this whole OF thing, they think, oh yeah, it's the end of the light and all that. Listen, the money starts rolling in at first. And when it starts drying out, you got problems. You know what I mean? But people would say there's a way you can market yourself on that. I think you have to speak to some people who are real professionals on that. I don't know much about it, but still. You know what I mean? For me, no go. But anyways, next one. I think my girlfriend cheated on me while she was on a trip to Madrid. That's mad. If that's actually happened, that's mad. But let's get more into the story, what this guy's saying. A few weeks ago, my girlfriend went on a tourist trip to Madrid with her female friends. Everything seemed fine. I wasn't making a big deal out of it, but I noticed something strange only after she came back. One day, just by chance, not because I stalk her, that's mad already. I checked who she follows on Instagram and found two new guys, obviously foreigners. People I had never seen before, and she had never mentioned them. I knew they were new followers because they were completely outside of her usual circle. I asked her who were they, and only then did she say that they met them when they were out. Later, when I pressed her for more details, it turns out they went out to a nightclub with them twice. Now, maybe this wouldn't be such a big deal if it didn't line up with the fact that on those exact two nights, she didn't reply to my messages at all. In fact, throughout the whole trip, she was barely texting me. And when I asked about those guys, she seemed a little bit nervous. On top of that, for months now, she's been telling me that our relationship feels monotonous, which just makes my suspicions worse. Does this sound like I'm overreacting, or is it suspicion as it feels to me? I think, to be honest, you're doing a bit too much. You know what I mean? You first off, you're going for a phone, which is creepy behavior. If you're in a relationship and you actually trust that person, you shouldn't be going for a phone, because otherwise you're looking like the mad one. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I hear it. You had some suspicions. She came and she was acting a bit weird. Sometimes you got to simply ask her the question, what went on in that trip to Madrid? If she don't want to tell you what went on, say, listen, I'm giving you an ultimatum here. Tell me the truth or I'm out. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes you have to give them the ultimatum, make them feel like you're not being a dickhead, because she could be treating you like one. And obviously now she's saying she's on this monotonous thing. You have to make it clear to her, I'm not on it. This is what it is. Tell me the truth right now, or I'm doing the walking away stuff, the Craig David thing. That's what you have to explain to her so she understands what this is. Because right at the end of the day, yeah, you're being made to look like a mug because she's treating you like you're a doormat at the end of the day. If you obviously don't know the full details of what went on that trip to Madrid, Because obviously she's added these 2 new guys. But first off, number one, you shouldn't have been doing the creepy McCreep stuff, checking for her Instagram and stuff. There needs to be trust in that relationship. If you don't trust her, number one, then where are you going in this relationship? Do you know what I mean? But sometimes you got to have some suspicions. And when you do have them suspicions, you got to confront. And obviously she's stumbling, doing the stuttering stuff like the Joe song. Then you have to really press her and ask her, what's going on there? Why you lie to me? Do you know what I mean? I could tell you're lying just when you're replying, you stutter. You have to find out, because what she's trying to do is play you like a fiddle. Do you know what I mean? You have to really start to find out the truth and unravel what she's saying is the real deal, the real McCoy. Do you know what I mean? And if it isn't, you gotta bounce like checks and all that. You know what I mean? You got to get out of there, do all of that, bounce along. Wayne Wonder song, you've got to just leave, move on. Do you know what I mean? Moving on up, and people and that, you got to go. So that's just my simple advice to man. But that's all. What do you guys think of my advice? Put your comments below on that one, or keep them to yourself. Cool. With that, we're going to move on now to talk Cycling Mikey. Now, people obviously haven't seen the latest news online and all that. So obviously I don't know if it's been popularised and put in the news channels and that. Cycling Mikey obviously got himself involved in another situation. And people don't know Cycling Mikey is this guy that's a dork, do you know what I mean, on his bike. Likes to record people, you know, doing some, let's say, making problems in traffic, in their cars or going around. Let's say they're probably on their phone or something like that. He would record them and go and basically tell the police what they've done. You know what I mean? Basically a snitch, you know what I mean? I call him a Randall. Do you know what I mean? Not my name, Randall. I'm saying, like, you know, that guy from Recess and that sniggering one, Cyril Sneer stuff. Do you know what I mean? But obviously he got involved with an incident where he was trying to direct traffic. So long story short for the people. And obviously it was like a one-way road, I think. People, you give them way to come through, and I think you get your way to go when, you know, the traffic slows down or something like that, so you could pass, you know, one-way street and that. Cycling Mikey decided to get himself involved, and, you know, when the cars were going the one way and going, he decided to try and interject and put his bike to stop the car going through. The car just went through and rammed his bike, and then his bike was smashed up and stuff, which, listen, to be honest, I look at it and say he got what he deserved, because this guy is a menace to society, to be honest. You know what I mean? That's the one thing I say about Cycling Mikey. He's a bit of a prick. Do you know what I mean? I don't drive, and I can see what he's doing sometimes. It's despicable behavior. I get it sometimes. Some people are a bit idiotic or a bit reckless, but if you're on your phone just checking a few things and you're on traffic and stuff, he will stop and then come and record you and say, what are you doing? Why are you not really using your phone in this area and stuff? It'll just be an absolute dork. Do you know what I mean? So I understand why people get mad at this guy. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I can see why he would do certain things. But I would say that just being a no goody two shoes sometimes, and being that person where you can invade someone's private space where you're filming and recording them, you know what I mean, when they obviously are checking their phone, or they've put their one hand on the steering wheel just to look down and see what's going on below. If they've dropped something, then you catch them in the act doing that. It's a bit of a Cyril Sneer stuff, you know what I mean? You're doing a bit of the, you know what I mean, sniggering, all of that things. It just doesn't look right, you know what I mean? You're acting a bit like a twat. And that's why I say Cycling Mikey is one of those guys that just likes his own attention. You know what I mean? Likes to be the center of attention. You know what I mean? Which, the thing is, the police also have told him, we don't really want cases to be brought in now, where he would go and take the cases in, because I think a bunch of people do that now, where they would capture things, but they would do it in a case where they're trying to get money or something out of it. You know what I mean? Like, falsify evidence and things like that. So with Cycling Mikey, I just think he's a bit of a dork, man. Sometimes just leave people to do what they've got to do. You know what I mean? I don't drive. As I said, I drive a bike myself. But if I see him in traffic, I'd know what this guy's about. And if he even tries to direct me and tells me, hey, you can't go down that street, you know, I'll tell him, shut up, man. Let man do what he's got to do. At the end of the day, there are cameras around. Why have you got to be Judge Dredd here in this situation? You haven't got to be a Judge Dredd. Judge, jury, and execution. Who made you that? Do you know what I mean? To try and start putting the law in your own hands. And that's why I say this guy is a bit of a dickhead. Do you know what I mean? I understand that you're trying to enforce the law, but no one likes one of these guys who tries to stick by the rules all the time. Listen, I understand. Listen, if the government's there, boom, boom, all of that, or one of the people in power, sure, cool, whatever. Double yellow line, tickets, parking assistant, all of that. But you're none of these, man. Do you know what I mean? You're not one of these authority figures. You're just some prick, you know what I mean, with a camera attached to your head. And then you're walking around trying to capture people just, you know, on their mission to go to work and stuff. And you're just being a twat and then making them get charged for these things. It's a bit of a dickhead move. And that's why I say, listen, I get it. If some people are being truly reckless, fair enough. They aren't. They're just, you know, traffic stop. They're just checking something. Then you don't have to be a bit of a dickhead, to be honest. You don't have to be a bit of a twat. But anyways, that's what happened to Cycling Monkey. His bike got wrecked. Do you know what I mean? The car said, listen, get out of there, man. Trying to tell me what to do. But the thing is, I think Cycling Monkey pushed his bike directly into the car that was going, and obviously the car just smashed out. I was like, get out, Mark. What are you doing? Do you know what I mean? So the thing is with this guy, he just does these things that can gripe people sometimes, you know what I mean? And that's why no one really likes this guy. Do you know what I mean? I don't like him, and I'm not a driver, as I said. But anyways, let's move on. Well, have you seen the clip of Cycling Monkey getting his bike smashed? What are your thoughts on that? You can put your comments below on that one, or keep them to yourself. Cool. We're going to move forward now. I'm going to touch on, obviously, my predictions for the Premier League. For the people who don't know, the Premier League is coming back on Friday. So, big list, big all of that. It's big boy stuff, do you know what I mean? The Premier League is back. So, it's exciting times for the people who've missed it. Football fans out there, they've been twiddling their thumbs, don't know where they're going. Do you know what I mean? Don't know where they're going to be at this period of time when the summer was happening. They probably watched the Club World Cup and other competitions that were happening. The women's Euros, big up the women as well. England women that won. And it kind of felt that, oh man, I missed the Premier League. Man, when's it coming back? But it's back. This Friday, the Premier League comes back. So I'm going to give you guys my top 10 predictions, obviously, of the Premier League. Who do I think is going to be in the top 10? And obviously, I'm going to give you my 3 that will be relegated this season. So let's just start with 1 and go forth with that. Obviously, number 1 for me, position number 1, who's going to win the Premier League, I think it's going to be Liverpool this season. And the reason why I say that is because of the signings they've made. People might say it wouldn't take them time to gel. If they sign Isak as well, I think it's game over, to be honest. Signing of TK looks strong. Wirtz, those players that they've signed gives a real statement of intent, you know what I mean? On top of obviously what happened last season, certain players they've just got rid of. Darwin Núñez, who's left as well, which is a good person to, let's say, leave Liverpool, because he was one of the people that went scoring the majority of goals for them in terms where he's missing the target a lot. So that for me probably puts Liverpool number 1 for me, unfortunately. Number 2, I think it's going to go to Man City this season. The reason why I say Man City is purely because I don't think they're going to allow what happened last season to happen again this season. I think that they've made some stellar signings as well. If they manage to get Rodrigo as well, I think they're really going to push for that title. So, yeah, I think it's game over if they do end up signing Rodrigo. So, I would say City number 2. Number 3, I'm going to come to Arsenal. And the reasons why I say us at 3 is that I'm not convinced. I'm not fully convinced. And the reasons being is that we just haven't signed Eze yet. And if Eze ends up going somewhere else or staying at Palace this season, I'm going to be very annoyed. You know what I mean? The fact tomorrow is the left-hand side as well. We need to address that. We haven't really addressed it. I'm not confident with Noni Madueke. And that's just what I'm saying there. Do you know what I mean? Gokeres, good signing. Zubimendi looks good. But at the same time, it's going to take these guys time to kind of gel and get into knowing each other's game. That's why I'm a little bit hesitant to say that we're going to win the league this season. But I hope I'm proved wrong. I really do hope I'm proved wrong. But with what I've seen, I'm not confident. You know what I mean? I hope to be confident if we do sign Eze and if we do sign Rodrigo, I'll be a lot more confident. But I don't think we're getting them. To be honest, I think we'll get Eze, and if we do, then we'll probably be able to push for second spot. But apart from that, I don't see it happening, to be honest. So I'm gonna go Arsenal third. Fourth, Chelsea. I think Chelsea will probably get fourth. I think with the team they've got this season, the signings they've made, they've addressed that striking position with João Pedro. He's looked good during the pre-season, so I think his signing is a good signing for them. I think he really can give them some good markers, to be honest. And I think they've signed another defender, haven't they? Someone at the back that keeps them solid too. So I think Chelsea would really make some leap and bounds this year to really make sure they're amongst the top four. So I'll go Chelsea fourth. Fifth is a difficult one because there's a bunch of teams there that can get fifth. I think I'll go Villa fifth, purely because of Villa's squad. I think Villa might get it this time. I think Villa fifth. Reasons being, I just see them sort of edging it. So I'll go Villa fifth. Tottenham sixth for me. Yeah, I think Tottenham will probably end up sixth this season. I know they've made a few signings, but I still don't think they've got enough to get into that top four position. So I think Tottenham sixth. Seventh. Brighton. Brighton have lost players, but somehow Brighton managed to bounce back. So I'm going to go Brighton. Eighth, Newcastle. Just purely because if they lose Isak, or even Isak isn't settled now, I think I could push Newcastle to that position. Ninth. That's tough, Ninth. Palace. Yeah, I'd go Palace ninth. Ninth, Palace. 10th, I'll put Nottingham Forest 10th. So that's my top 10 I'll go with the list for that season. Bottom, who are the people I think will get relegated? In no particular order, I'm going to go Wolves, I'm going to go Brentford, and I'm going to go with Leeds. I think those three will be relegated. That's just my predictions on that. I might get it wrong. I probably would get it wrong, but that's who I feel the bottom three would be. Cool. We're just going to touch on the transfer market now. Obviously, as I said, Eze, looks like there's talks going on with Spurs that Eze may be going to Spurs. As I said, if Arsenal allow this to happen, I'm going to be very disappointed. I think we do need to sign him, especially as a backup for Martin Odegaard. If he ends up going to Tottenham, he really improves Tottenham. To be honest, they've lost James Maddison, so they need someone in there. So I think there'll be a desperate move, obviously, to try and get Eze. I hope he doesn't go there and he ends up picking us, but we make that bid happen and we make sure that doesn't happen, because if that happens, I'm going to be very annoyed, to be honest, because I can't trust Martin Odegaard to not have competition and go throughout that season just thinking it's fine. And people say, "Oh, you got Fabio Vieira." He's not the guy for me. He's not the guy. That's just all I got to say on that. So let's move on. The other transfers that look like they're happening: Rodrigo, potentially City are now interested. So Savinho looks like he could be heading out. So they're looking at Rodrigo as the guy who's going to come in and step up. If they do sign him, it's a big statement of intent from City, and then I do think City will push all the way to the title. So that's something that does worry me. If he does decide to go to City, I think it massively improves them. I just hope it doesn't happen, to be honest, because obviously City will be that team that will be looking a lot more dangerous and will probably be that team to push Liverpool for that title this season. I just hope it doesn't happen, but that's what I do see potentially happening. Obviously with Savinho potentially going out the door, and obviously Jack Grealish going on loan, it just seems that that's the only way possible, to be honest, and I don't want that to happen, but it looks very, very, very likely, which is unfortunate. But yeah, Isak as well. There's talks that this move potentially could be off. He's not going. That's what we've heard from Newcastle. But I do think if he stays, that could really unsettle Newcastle, to be honest, where there's going to be that lack of trust in him as well. That could impact him playing as well in that Newcastle team. The fans probably will get on his case where he'll be booed constantly just because he wants to move. So I do think that could be very toxic for him if he does stay, because obviously you're a statement of intent coming out saying you want to leave now. That's not done anything, and that's probably made the Newcastle fans very, very annoyed, to be honest. I do think that this transfer should happen. If I'm the Newcastle owner or anyone that's involved in that board, I'm saying, yeah, he needs to be sold, to be honest. Take the 35 million and get him out of here. And then try to look and sign someone like Kolo Muani or someone like that who can help still score you some goals. Not probably what he can do, but still can do a job still. Do you know what I mean? So it's the point of time where you just got to just accept that, you know, he's made it clear. The fans now going to be on his case. It's going to unsettle Newcastle, and I think it could end up pushing Newcastle all the way down the table, to be honest. As I said, potentially 8th, potentially 9th. So yeah, that's what I think on that. But transfer market, any more transfers out there you guys want to happen for your club, you can put your comments below on that one, or keep them to yourself. We'll see with that. We're going to come now to predict the Premier League. You know, I mean, match day 1, and let's see who I've got for my predictions. Obviously, let's get on to the first one, which is on Friday, the 15th of August, 8 p.m, Liverpool versus Bournemouth, the opening game of the Premier League season. I do think that Liverpool are going to win this one. I'm going to go for Liverpool winning this one 3-1. The next game, Saturday, 16th of August, is a 12:30 kickoff. Aston Villa against Newcastle. I'm going to go for Villa winning this one 2-1 Aston Villa. Saturday again, this is a 3 p.m. kickoff, Brighton versus Fulham. Tough game for either team. Fulham, here and there last season, so it could be one of them ones. Potentially could see Brighton just scraping this one 1-0. I'm going to go with Sunderland versus West Ham. This is another 3 p.m. kickoff, Saturday. I'm going to go for a draw in this one because I think West Ham probably not going to want to lose like that, but I think Sunderland could have enough to get a draw. So I'm going to go 1-1. Tottenham versus Burnley. This is another 3 p.m. kickoff. I'm going to go for Tottenham winning this one. Let's go Tottenham, just about, for me, a 2-1 win. Wolves versus Man City. I'm going to go for Man City winning this one. It's a Wolves' pitch, but I think they'll have enough to get over the line. I think it will be a 3-1 Man City. I'm going to go 3-1, yeah. They've lost Cunha. It could be problems for them. So, yeah, 3-1. Chelsea against Crystal Palace. This is a Sunday game, 2 p.m. kickoff. I'm going to go for Chelsea winning this one. I'm going to go to Chelsea. A tight one, to be honest. I'm going to go 3-2 because I think it's going to be difficult for Chelsea, but I think they'll have enough to get over the line. Nottingham Forest versus Brentford, another 2 p.m. kickoff. I'm going to go for Nottingham Forest, 2-0. 2-0 Nottingham Forest. Man United versus Arsenal, probably the game of the weekend, which is a 4:30 kickoff on Sunday. I'm going to go for a draw on this one, 1-1. Leeds United versus Everton. I'm going to go for another draw on this one, to be honest. I'm going to go for a yeah, 2-2. I think a high scoring draw on that one. And that's it, guys, for my predictions of the opening games of the Premier League. What do you guys think? You can put your comments below on that one or keep them to yourself. With that, we've come to the end of the podcast for this week. Appreciate you guys' time and all that. Sorry about the background, as I said. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them ones which wasn't quiet today. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Big yourselves up. You can put your comments below on all of that. You know what to do below. Subscribe if you're feeling this or any of the previous episodes. And big yourselves up, guys. You know what I usually do when we finish. Peace, love, uni, have fun. I mean, and you're either all in, wrong one. Yes, big yourselves up. You know what I mean? You're either all in Claire out. That was the right one still.